Hey crafters, stampers, and DIYers. My name is Kathy Case with Spectacular Creations, and this video is going to be a first of, or maybe second of, videos that I am going to share with y'all. I've had a couple of requests on some beginning stampers and card making techniques and videos. So we're going to do a video today on how to use the envelope punch board. I'm creating this video specifically for my mom. My mom is a beginner card maker, stamper, and I am going to give her this envelope punch board, and this video is to help her use it to make her envelopes for her cards that she's making. So let's get started. What you need is an envelope punch board, and I happen to have a couple. This is the one that I'm going to give my mom. It is an envelope punch board that is, I think, retired now from Stampin' Up. I do have another punch board. And it is by We Are Memory Keepers, and this particular board is the all-in-one punch board, and it makes lots of things. It's a paper cutter, it's an envelope punch board, it's a scoreboard. So I've purchased this one, so I'm going to give this one to my mom. So I'm going to make a video on how to use this one. There are several of these on the market by different manufacturers, and they're pretty much all the same. So you will need an envelope punch board to make your envelopes, and you will also need a paper cutter. And I am a Stampin' Up demonstrator, and this is the old style Stampin' Up trimmer. They have since come out with a new one that is new and improved, but I have several blades, so I am going to use this one until my blades get dull, and then I will purchase the new one. I also am going to give her a paper cutter that she can use too, and we'll go over paper cutters in another video. So let's get started. So a normal card size for card making is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So this punch board has the measurements on it, and it also has the directions right here. So I'm going to bring this up to the camera a little bit closer so you can see. We are going to find our 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, which is right here, and it'll tell you the size of the card, the size of the paper that you need, and the starting score mark for your envelope. So you will need some paper, and I have 3 different types here. We have just regular copy paper, printer paper. We have some white cardstock, and we have what we call designer series paper, and what that is just, it's a thicker weight paper that is printed with a design, and they are usually double-sided. So we're going to start with the printer paper, and we need to find our measurement, which is here in the grid, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and it says card size. So it's telling me that I need a piece of paper that is 8 by 8. So we're going to use our paper trimmer and cut our paper at 8 by 8. So you put your paper in your trimmer, find your 8-inch score or your 8-inch measurement at the top, and you are going to bring your score blade down and remove this part. You can use this as scrap or you can just recycle it. Then you're going to rotate your paper 90 degrees, find your 8-inch mark measurement on this side again, and you're going to bring your cutting blade up and remove that excess. So now you have your 8 by 8 envelope paper. So you bring your scoreboard back in front of you, and it says in your grid here, your card size 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. My paper is 8 by 8, and my score line is 3 1/2. So up here, you have a measurement grid, and you're going to find your 3 1/2, and you are going to butt your paper up to the 3 1/2 score mark here. Now this one has its own score utensil, and usually you can see your score down here, and if that's easier to find it that way, you can do a light score and just kind of practice. But you can also find it up here. So what you want to do is just lightly score. You don't want to do too hard because you will score your paper and make too deep of a score line, and it will rip your paper or tear your paper or cut your paper in half. So I just do it a couple of times. And then this is a punch. So after you score, you punch, and then you want to rotate it to the complete opposite side where your punch is now down here. And then you're going to find your 3 1/2 again, and then you're going to score. So find your score ditch and just go over it really lightly for a couple of times, being careful not to rip your paper, and then you're going to punch. So your paper should now look like this. So now you're going to rotate to the side that has not been punched and scored, and you've got a little flag here. This little flag here, and what you want to do is place that little flag on the score line that you have already made. So line it up just like that. And you're going to score. And yes, then you punch. Then you're going to find the opposite side, the only side that doesn't have your punch marks. And again, you're going to line your flag up with your already scored line, just like that. And you are going to find your score ditch, and you're going to score. And then you're going to punch. And there is the beginning of your envelope. So you're through with this for now. And then what you do now is you just find your score lines and fold. And you can use your scoring utensil to make a good crease. And you're going to fold this in on each of your fold lines. And the printer paper is a little bit harder to manipulate because it's so thin, but it does work. I do use printer paper for some envelopes. So you're going to fold on all your score lines and crease, and then you bring this one down and crease. So you have just made an envelope. So now what you want to do is take some glue or adhesive, tape adhesive to attach, to glue your envelope together. And mine, I had a crafting class and it's in my bag. Hold on one second and I'll get it. I use this Tombow Mono Liquid Glue. This is also on my online store, which you can find at www.spectacularcreations.com, and it's on my Stampin' Up! Shop My Store tab at the top of the website. So what you do is you want to look and see where those two pieces of paper overlap. Now this printer paper is really thin so I can see. And you're just going to just do a light glue line, and then just fold your paper over, and you have your envelope. Now, one thing I failed to mention was on the opposite side of this punch board, you can also round your corners. You just punch it and see it just rounded the corner. So, and I'll show you that on the next envelope. So here's our envelope, and this is a 4 1/4 by 5 card that I have made, and it just fits perfect in the envelope. So you can either do a dot of glue to seal it, or you can put a sticker here, and your card is ready to go. So we're going to do another one with the thicker paper, the white cardstock, and this cardstock is also in my store. So we're going to do this again. We are going to do another card that is envelope for a 4 1/4 by 5 envelope card base. So we know from before we need an 8 by 8 piece of paper. So we are going to cut, rotate it 90 degrees, and I didn't do very well on that one. I missed the top of it. There we go. Rotate it, do the other side at 8. And we have our 8 by 8 piece of paper. We're going to bring in our punch board. By before, we know that we need a score line at 3 1/2. So we're going to put our paper and butt it up underneath the 3 1/2. we're going to use our scoring utensil. And since this paper is a little bit thicker, we can do a little bit more pressure to create our score line. Punch. Go all the way to the opposite side of the one we just punched. Put our paper butted up against to the 3.5. We are going to score and punch. Now we have the two sides that we haven't done, and this is where we use the flag. We don't use the 3 1/4 mark. We use the flag because now we're matching everything up. So put your flag in line with your score mark and score and punch. Then we have this side down here to do. So you match up your score lines again, not using your measurement up here, but matching here. And you score here and punch. So now you have your envelope that's not folded. So to round the edges, you use the back side of your punch. So place the corner in your punch and punch, and it's rounded my corner. And you want to do that to all 4 sides. And now you have an envelope with rounded corners. So you're going to take your flap on your right and just lightly fold it over on your score line. Use your bone folder. Rotate it. Do the same on this one. And do the same on the other side. See, this one, since this paper is a little bit thicker, it's easier to manipulate your score lines. So you want to put your right and your left flap in and your bottom up. And then you're just going to place your bead of glue. And there's your envelope. Now, when I make a bunch of cards, I use a double-sided tape and just go ahead and place my tape up here. And when I'm ready to mail, I just peel my double-sided tape up and seal my card. So let me show you that this does fit. This is a regular 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 card. And it does give you some wiggle room in case your card is thicker. And your card is now ready to address and mail or hand deliver. So that is with a thicker cardstock. So we are now going to make one more, and we're going to use this Designer Series paper, and we are going to make a gift card envelope. So this particular gift card is approximately 3 1/2 by 2 1/8. So we're going to just round it up to 2 1/2 by 3 1/2. So what we're going to do is find our closest measurement. So the third one down, I have a 2 1/2 by 3 1/2 card size, and it says I need a 5 1/2 by 5 1/2 piece of paper. So we're going to bring our paper trimmer back in, and my paper needs to be 5.5. So I'm going to find my 5.5 up here on my paper trimmer and cut. 5.5 again and cut. So we're going to bring our envelope punch board back in. Our card size is 2.5 by 3.5. Our paper is 5.5 by 5.5, and it says our score marks need to be 2 3/8. So I'm going to find my 2 3/8 on my board, which is right here. It says 2, and then you go over, and it says 3/8. So I am going to score my paper, and punch. And then I'm going to go to the opposite side, put it back in at 2 3/8, and score, and punch. And then, as before, we're going to line up our score mark with our flag, and we're going to score and punch. And then go to the side that we haven't scored and punched and line it up and score and punch. So then we take our opposite end of our punch and round our corners. Then at this point you want to decide which side of the paper that you want to use. And I want the bulbs. These are just bulbs, Christmas lights. And I want that to show. So I'm going to fold and crease, fold and crease, fold and crease, and then we have our little gift card envelope. We're going to place our glue, just a real light line of glue, and fold over and let that dry. Give it a good press. And we're going to see if our gift card fits, and it fits perfect. So you can just put your little gift card in, and you can use a sticker, or this point you can put some glue on this flap and adhere it down, or you can actually tuck it in. Like that, and you can address it, put a sticker, or you can actually glue it to your card you've already made. So this is the end of my tutorial on how to use your envelope punch board, and you want to make sure you always put your scoring utensil back in so you don't lose it. So if you've enjoyed this video and it was very helpful for you, please give me a thumbs up. And if you stumbled across my video and my channel and you have not subscribed to my channel, then please hit the little bell, hit the subscribe icon, and then hit the little bell, and you will be notified whenever I go live, whenever I place new content on my website. And if you have any card making supplies that you need, feel free to go to spectacularcreations.com and shop my stores. And I hope y'all have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.